as a authorizer or as a school board is you may say, but we don't have a strategic plan. You don't have to have a strategic plan to be able to consider a charter school proposal. If you've got that, it's helpful. It gives you some direction, but it's not absolutely essential. What you want to look at though is there some evidence that shows that maybe there are some student needs that aren't being met? That's a good sign. But the other thing is maybe you don't have a full strategic plan, but you have set some goals for the year, and the proposal that you're looking at aligns with those goals. Perfect. You have enough information where you can consider it and say, maybe we'll give consideration of this. So understand, you don't have to have a strategic plan to consider a charter school. As a board, you would have to have some interest in saying we're willing to explore a different approach to student learning to maybe help them out. And if you're willing to do that, then maybe a charter might give you some opportunities. It also gives you the opportunity to create some partnerships that formerly didn't exist. Schools tend to fall a little short on community partnerships, and in survey after survey that the School Board Association has done with school boards, we find that community partnerships is one of the areas that they struggle with the most. Even though they're elected by the community, they tend to find that they struggle a little bit with communication in the community. Opportunities for attracting and retaining students could be another reason for considering a charter, because when you have a successful charter school going, that attracts the attention not only of families living in the district, but potentially may attract the attention of families who are considering moving to the district or are looking at the idea of, boy, I'd like to put in an application for open enrollment and have a shot at being part of that charter school. So that could be another reason for considering it. And again, it's a good idea to have a community conversation about a charter school before you go ahead with it. And part of that conversation may be to share with them some of the information you've learned about different models of charter schools that are operating in Wisconsin, and maybe how one of them may work in your own school district. Academic performance. One of the questions with academic performance is, how do you presently know how the students in your school are doing? What reports do you get from the administration? You're going to get annual academic progress reports, but what reports do you get through the course of the year to be sure that students are learning and developing both academically and socially? What data do you see, and does that data suggest that maybe there's some students whose needs aren't being met? If you decided as a board that you wanted to authorize a charter school, you would be looking for that same level of accountability. You'd want to be asking them for performance data. You'd want to be asking them for data on social and emotional growth, just as you would with your own school. And frankly, I would challenge boards to say that if you start a charter school and you create these metrics to gauge how your charter school is doing, it's probably going to improve not only how you gauge academic performance and social emotional growth in the charter school, you're going to find you do a better job of doing it in your own in your own larger building as well. So there's advantages to looking at that. Types of charter schools. This is a slide that comes from the Department of Public Instruction, and the only reason that this is in there is to talk about the fact that I've got 4 types listed here. An instrumentality of the school district is a charter created by the school district. When a instrumentality charter is formed, the school board hires the staff that's going to be working in that charter school. You're paying the salary for those people. That's what happens in an instrumentality. In a non-instrumentality charter school, the staff is being hired by the governance board of that charter school, and they work independently of the district. In other words, they're their own hiring body. That makes it a little more difficult to start a charter school, particularly in a more rural area. And I would suspect in a rural area it also may make it a little more difficult to sustain a charter school. But I just bring that up to say those are the two types you'd normally see. When we look at a 2R and a 2X charter school, those are charter schools that were generally created in just one part of the state, a lot of times down in that Milwaukee or the southeast portion of the state. Not exclusively, but a lot of them are there, and they operate somewhat differently. So for most of the people that I would think this presentation would be addressing, you're probably going to be looking, I would say 75 to 80% of you would be looking at instrumentality charter schools in my mind. And finally, at this point here, I've got some videos that I think would be worth spending some time looking at. One is of the Wildlands Charter School in Augusta. A second one is the Discovery Charter School in Columbus, and the third one is the Tomorrow River Charter School, which is located in Amherst, Wisconsin. You know, as a group, these three short videos just give you an opportunity to see how did these charter schools get authorized, who are the driving forces behind them, what type of partnerships existed. And in the case of two of them, in the case of Wildlands and in the case of Tomorrow River, these are more environmental type charter schools, and they had some unique partnerships which make it really nice, but it doesn't mean you have to have that partnership. It's just an option. Discovery Charter School was more of a parent-driven charter school that operates within the confines of the district in Columbus. So I would challenge you to watch these three videos. They're about 5.5 minutes each, and then kind of have a conversation about them and think about your own community and say, what resources might we have in our community? What business partnerships might exist? What kind of parent interest do we have? What kind of staff interest do we have? So don't look at these and say, oh, we don't have those things, so we can't do a charter school. These are just merely to give you something to think about. So take some time, watch those videos, and then we can come back and talk further about whether you think you want to authorize a charter school.